Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Biccum. I am a wellness coach and mindset mentor, and I'm really excited to bring you our first official episode on the Women Waking Up podcast. And today I will be interviewing intuitive guide Miss Sarah Proffit. And today we're going to be talking about something that everybody loves, most people are curious about, but we don't really know all the benefits behind getting naked. So, Sarah, why don't you
Woo!
tell us a little bit about what you're here to guide us on our journey today?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about getting naked and not only the psychological benefits, but the health benefits of getting naked. So there is a variety of benefits that happen when you get naked, you strip down, either alone or with somebody else, depends what you got going on. But it really, there are some incredible benefits to just stripping down and getting rid of all your clothes.
So tell me a little bit about what that process. I mean, I can tell you that I've done a little bit of that way back when. I kind of did this like self-love thing, and I like did this whole self-love in the shower, and I like danced naked, and it was great. But to be honest, like my normal getting naked is like, okay, I'm getting into bed, right, solo generally, or I'm getting up and getting into the shower. So I'm curious about how does this practice form, and is it any type of getting naked, or tell me a little bit more about how I can increase my health benefits by getting naked. I'm super
Yes.
interested.
So there are a couple of ways that you can do this depending on your comfort level. So it all starts with how comfortable you are actually being naked. Some people can be naked around hundreds of other people and they are totally comfortable, and they have no qualms about stripping down. While others, it's even difficult for them to be in their own skin, in their own bedroom, in the dark, naked. And so it really depends on your comfort level and how you start. And so one of the main things that you want to do is figure out what is your comfort level with how you feel with how you feel and getting naked. What's your comfort level? Are you comfortable stripping down in the shower and having the lights on and just being with you? Are you comfortable around a lot of people? Can you be naked in front of the mirror? That's a big thing for a lot of people, is not feeling comfortable in front of the mirror naked. And so if that's where you are now, if you're really uncomfortable with just being in front of the mirror naked, which is a lot of people, the best thing to do is to get undressed before you get in the shower, right? Because that's like one of the main things we do. We have to get undressed to get in the shower. So you get undressed and you can literally just walk past your mirror naked. And that's a huge step for a lot of people. And this may be something that you'll do for weeks or months until you actually stop and look at yourself. Because the thing is as we become comfortable in our own skin naked, this is when we become comfortable with other things in our life. So with other parts of self-love and all of the other things, because being naked is how we were born.
I really resonate with that. That's something that I can definitely reflect upon a time in my life where I had a lot of self-loathing going on, like I wasn't eating the best. I was kind of getting caught up in the things that were happening around me. And I went from the north of India to the south of India in like less than, 48 hours. And I went from being in jackets and coats and hats and eating sweets and whatever to being on a beach in a bikini. And I just like had so much self-loathing, and I had never really felt that way. And I guess like the pit of it all was the fact that I know that I did that to myself. Like there was nothing, like the weight didn't just poof appear. I knew that I was out of alignment, and it was really hard to look at myself in the mirror or just in general. And it was really hard for me. So I'm sure that a lot of people are in that space, and just walking across the mirror, definitely feel could be like a good first step. I'm curious, when it comes to people who are maybe having these blockages come up, and even if because I'm sure there's resistance and there's self-doubt, and then that perpetuates the negative vibrations that we're putting out, what do you suggest as far as helping people get over that first milestone?
So the thing that I suggest is walking in front of the mirror naked. And what I suggest with clients is this is one of the first practices I do, no matter what you come to me for, is practicing self-love. And self-love, a lot of us get confused of like, oh, let's go get a massage. Let's go take a hot bath. Like, yes, it's part of self-love, but part of self-love is actually loving who you are in the skin that you are in now before you lose the weight, before you get your hair done, before all of these things, the skin that you are in now. And so you can do that by literally standing in front of the mirror. And what we call, like, it's kind of funny, but they call it like a power pose, if you've ever heard of it. And you literally stand with your arms beside you and like kind of your hands on your hips. And you stand in this power pose and you just tell yourself, I am beautiful. And at first I hear all the time, I feel like I'm lying to myself. And you might be at this point, because like you said, you're doubting yourself, you're self-loathing, you're all of these things. But the more times that we repeat something, the more we believe it. So we're changing our belief systems. That's what you're going to do. And that's how you change your belief systems in anything, in any part of your realm, your world, any dimension that you're in. Like, you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again until one day you walk past and you're like, oh my God, who's that lady? And you're like, oh, it's me.
Yeah, wow, I can definitely see that. I definitely feel the power behind positive words and positive vibrations. I do affirmations with myself and my clients as well. And it is in the beginning, you feel this resistance. You're like, I'm not really believing it. But then like you continue to show up for yourself, right? You just continue to show up. And then all of a sudden your vibration increases and you're like, oh, actually, because you're doing better things, because you're just feeling better about yourself. Amazing. So now my question is, I'm a super health nerd and I'm like, okay, this whole getting naked thing, I get it. Like, I get the understanding of being comfortable in my own skin. I get the compassion piece of like accepting where I am now, but I'm sure myself as well as many others might be wondering, how is this related to my health and what are the benefits in that regards?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, because there are studies being done now and in the past about getting naked. You can look them up. I'm not going to go into the depth of what the studies are, but there are studies being done about getting naked and how this actually raises your self-confidence. And so when you raise your self-confidence, when you're feeling better about yourself, you're and not wearing clothes particularly, actually, well, one, if you've got like rashes on your skin or whatever, like, we're going to get actually into the physicalities of it. If you've got rashes on your skin, the one thing that a lot of doctors will recommend is like remove any sort of clothing that you have, remove anything that's restricting you, anything like that. Like, that actually will help get rid of any sort of like physical thing that's going on, like on your skin, is to remove the allergen, which sometimes can be constrictive clothing or anything like that. But another thing that getting naked does is it lowers your stress levels. So it lowers your cortisol, which is our stress hormone, and it lowers that. And if you lower your cortisol levels, you lower your stress, you lose weight. So less stress we have, the more weight we lose, because there are a lot of studies, again, being shown that stress and weight gain are directly related. That's why you see people that are like stress-free and they eat whatever the hell they want, whenever they want, they're skinny. Because not only does food affect our weight, but so does stress. And so if we can get naked, if we can feel comfortable in our own skin, we can lower our stress levels and we can begin to lose weight.
Wow, that's really powerful. I remember actually when I was in Nicaragua, for those of you who don't know, Sarah actually lives in Nicaragua and that's how we met. And when I was living at this spiritual community over on the island, and it's called Inanita, it was not necessarily a nudist community, but nudity was normal, and I remember like in the beginning, right, whenever you go to like a hot springs or like you're just kind of like opening up to this like idea of nudity, at least for me, I'm like, ooh, I don't know, like I feel kind of like embarrassed or I'm not sure, and then like once you do it and like nobody else is like caring, everybody else who's naked is just like, dude, take off your clothes, what are you doing? Like the only one judging is you. And then like once you kind of get into that culture, like, wow, like I can just sit here and hang out with somebody and we can both be completely naked and it's so natural and it's so normal and it feels so good, like you said, to be in my own skin and to be comfortable in my own skin and to realize that I think this goes a lot hand in hand even with our emotions, right? Like if everybody was just fully truthful about whatever it is that was on their mind, whatever they were feeling, whatever was going on, then and even their ailments, whatever ailing them, maybe they have, like you said, a skin rash or something and they were just like, yep, I got the skin rash, not really sure what's going on, I'm trying to do the best I can, I'm eating well, whatever. And this is just where I'm at right now. More people, I feel like, would be comfortable sharing about the things that they feel that they need to hide or be ashamed about. And I think that this goes really hand in hand as far as clothing as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I totally agree with that. Like, I had a similar experience with the like being in sort of a community that was like really open and everybody was naked and all of these things. And I was like, I'm really comfortable in my own skin, but I am not comfortable getting naked in front of people, like, at all. And I remember just thinking, but we all have the same body parts, really. So I don't really even know what the big deal is. But because society has put into us all of these things that we always get put into our heads, it's like, we can't get naked. Like, it is shameful to be naked. It is shameful. And we learn it as a kid. Mm-hmm. We learn it as a kid. But I know that for me, that wasn't where I learned it. I learned it in other parts, because I can remember being a kid and running around my house naked, and my parents were always trying to clothe me. And I was like, forget it. I don't want to be clothed.
Me too. I used to run around, actually, and I would like run around when I got out of the bath or the shower, and I'd run around and I'd be like, I'm naked. Oh, it's so funny. You know, since this is a woman waking up podcast, I think that it's important to talk about, and I think, you know, men have their own challenges, but since I think more of the viewers might be women, and I mean, men can listen to this too, I think that something that came up into my sphere not that long ago, or maybe 5 years now or 6 years ago, but it was about vagina shame. And I think that, like, so basically there was this whole documentary about these women who were getting these surgeries because they wanted, you know, their yoni to look like the porn stars in the airbrushed magazines. And I know for me, I mean, I'll even share an embarrassing story of myself. When I was probably like 12 or 13, my girlfriend calls me and she's like, oh my God, Amanda, I'm really worried. I'm like, why? She's like, I just Googled ugly vagina, and mine looks more like the ugly vagina over the pretty one. And she was like, I was like, oh my God, let me see, you know? And like, how heartbreaking is that? Like, really though, like, you're like 12 or 13, you're already having all these body image issues and whatever else. And then you go online and you type in like ugly vagina, and then you feel like yours looks more like the ugly one versus the pretty one. And I thought that this was a really interesting thing because it came back into my life, like I said, maybe about 5 years ago. And they did these whole documentaries. It was a documentary in the UK about how beautiful vaginas are in general. It doesn't matter the shape, the size, the texture, the color, they're all so different. And like, who's to say, like, that's just like every body is different. Imagine if every body looked the same. How boring would that be, right? And it's this whole idea, I think, and I've even had to work on this myself, is just accepting what I've got and how I've got it and loving it the way it is, and understanding. In this documentary, there was like a wall of vaginas. They were literally like maybe like 40 across and like 50 down. And it just shows the wide array. And I think that when we're not used to, especially even women, being in the same room and like, you know, checking out other women because we're all amazing, gorgeous goddesses and whatever we've got going on, you know? And I think that really understanding this concept that like you are so unique in every part about you and about your body, whether it's your breasts, your boobs, your butt, your cellulite, your vagina, whatever, is so beautiful and so unique. And I think that that's something, I mean, I'm curious your thoughts on that or your experiences or what you have to say for maybe women who struggle with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I totally agree with that. Everybody is different. And it can be difficult when especially if you've been hiding, especially if you're not open with yourself, if you're not open with others, you don't know what other people have. You have absolutely no clue what somebody else's skin looks like underneath of their clothes, especially their vagina or anything that goes along with any sexual organ. Like, unless you are like asking people, can I see your vagina, right? And so that's not something, a normal conversation that I usually have with my friends. And so I am fully, I mean, maybe you do, I don't know, not me, but I'm not fully aware of like what people around me, what their body parts look like even their hands, even their facial features is what we normally look at. If they've done studies that it's like when you're around other people, 80% of the time you're looking at their face. And so you have no idea what the rest of their body parts look like, their toes, their feet, their legs, anything. And in the places that we actually hide, so like our vaginas, our breasts, and all of these, places, we don't know what they look like. And so how can we be judgmental? And the only things that, unless we like watch porn or all of those things, and like, you have to know that on a porn shoot and photos in Playboy or whatever it is, like, how many photos and videos these people take to get these shots to make them look like the perfect body or the perfect image of what it is that, we've created in this society. And if you've talked to most males, they'll tell you, that's not my perfect body image. That's not who I want to be with. And that's something that we do need to address. And that's why that's like why I love and wanted to do a podcast like this, is addressing issues that nobody talks about. Like, do you go around to your friends and ask what their vagina looks like and compare yours to what everybody else is? Like, maybe when you're 12, but that's not something that I was necessarily interested in. And so I think that's, something it should be talked about, like, not necessarily comparing or judging, but just openly talking about the differences and how there's just, like you said, like millions of people on this planet. How can we expect everybody to have the same looking body part?
Yeah. I think something that really helped, just me step into my own whole power of my body in general, because I don't know I think we've talked about it. You also have had like body image issues in whatever way, shape or form, and I think something that really helped me really be like, I have a beautiful body in every way, shape or form, even if I'm like, heavy from eating all that holiday food or whatever. It was when, being in these nudist societies or going to hot springs or whatever. And for me, it's like when I see another woman's body, especially when she can be naked, regardless of her size, bigger, smaller, whatever it is, cellulite, no cellulite, it doesn't matter. Like, I see that woman and I'm like, you are gorgeous. Like, you are gorgeous. And like, you can rock your body. And like, I'm a health coach and I try to help people be healthier and whatever and find their ideal body weight. But even if a bigger woman walks in and she's naked and I am like, you're gorgeous, like, for rocking it, for walking in and not allowing any bullshit, ideas of perceptions of what you should or should not be or how you should or should not be get in the way of you owning yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. And I think that is the key to transformation. And this is what this whole podcast is really about, right? Being comfortable in your own skin. And whatever it is you need to do, whether it's standing in front of a mirror, whether I love dancing naked, right? Or doing yoga naked, like lighting candles and like just getting in my body and like massaging my body, doing my own oil massage and loving my body, something that I did a while back, and it really helped me step into my divine feminine power. It's called a goddess shower. And what I would do is I would like light candles, and as soon as the sun went down, I would light candles and I'd make myself a cacao drink, right? Opening up the heart chakra, really getting in. Also an aphrodisiac. Yes, you can make love with yourself. It's amazing. I invite you to try it, right? And I remember I would like light candles even in the bathroom. I wouldn't put on any lights. And then I would light some incense and I'd turn on my favorite sexy music. And I went into the shower and I imagined that I was in the shower with a lover, right? Think about when you're in the shower with a lover and it's like, oh, you are taking your sweet time, like you are rubbing and caressing like every part of their body and soaping it up and exploring the spaces and like you're just fully present. And you're not watching like, okay, gotta hurry up, let's hurry, it's like, no, you are like really just lusciously loving that person. And I was like, why do I do this for a partner and I don't do it for me? Like there's the self-love, right? Why would I love another person's body and take the time and caress and sweetly nourish and I don't do that for me? And I remember when I started doing these goddess showers, that's when so many things changed. Like my outlook on myself, my skin, my food habits, my appreciation, and like everything, like you said, just started kind of twirling and vibrating. And I began to really like step into and owning my own body and my own divine feminine powers, I guess.
Oh my God, I can't even agree more than that. Like I have done something similar. I didn't call it a goddess shower, but I wish I did. I have done something similar to that, and it's something that I recommend to a lot of people, and people are so uncomfortable talking about self-love, like actual self-love, like masturbating and getting those types of things into our like repertoire and into our daily practice. It should be a daily practice, like loving yourself actually, truly, and like you said, giving yourself love. Not just massages, not just go buying a bouquet of flowers, like fuck that. It's literally about loving the skin that you're in however way that happens for you, whether it's in the shower, whether it's in your bed, whether it's in front of the mirror, whether it's in your kitchen, like whatever it is, you know, like we can nourish our bodies in so many different ways, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of the things. And we have to remember that they're all intertwined. We can't just do one. We can't just do a mirror practice and get naked in the mirror and say I'm beautiful and that's it. Like that's the end of it, because it's not. We need to journal about it. We need to do goddess showers and go into the kitchen and make ourselves something, drink cacao and do all of these things, because they're all so intertwined and related. And it's just so, so important that we remember that it's so important to love ourselves just as we would love somebody else. And I think a lot of times, especially when we do this mirror work, I mean, I know that you do mirror work with your clients, and it's like when we do this mirror work and you say stuff to yourself that you would never say to your best friend, you would never say to your significant other, you would never say those things, but yet we repeatedly say to our, I mean, they said that they say we have like 70,000 thoughts that we repeat to ourselves in a day. And it's like, how much of that is actual negative? And if you can translate those thoughts onto a piece of paper and you read them out loud, would you read those out to anybody else? I guarantee no. And so that's why this conversation is so important. It's just like getting naked is more than getting naked. It's about self-love and loving who you truly are.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I think that this is a great first episode, kind of like talking about all the things, getting naked, vagina, self-love, like motivation. Like, I think that this is really what this podcast is all about, is like uncovering, you know, the things and getting into the places that maybe people aren't speaking about. And something that, speaking of self-love and getting into the body, especially into the female divine feminine, I've been working a lot with Tantra and the practice of Tantra. And the second, I have 3 articles right now. I just released another one today, which is called Beyond Sex, Understanding the Energies of Tantric Play. And the second one to that is the one before that, is all about Tantra. A lot of people when think it's called Tantra, true love starts with, or true Tantra starts with self. And a lot of people think, you know, whenever they come to me, they're like, oh, Amanda, I'm ready to learn Tantra. I'm like, okay, have you practiced with yourself yet? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I say, no, I have a partner. I'm ready to, like, let's do it. And I'm like, no. Because true Tantra doesn't start there. It's about really going inward. It's about honoring your own energy, your own self, not the little self, the higher self, and really connecting with your body. And like you said, even like there's masturbation techniques, there's self-love techniques, taking you out on a date. Like, how many people take themselves on a date? I mean, date yourself. I mean, go in the shower, get ready, put on your favorite stuff, like go out to your favorite restaurant, like go buy yourself, you know, buy yourself something nice, like do what you would want to do for others. And I think that as women, oftentimes, and not even just as women, but in general, we are givers. We just have this we just want to give. And it's so important. And I know you're telling your clients constantly, and I'm telling my clients, I'm even telling myself constantly, give to yourself. You know, like you can't give to anyone if you don't give to yourself. And super huge.
I love that, dating yourself. I actually recommended to 2 different clients in the past like month, like, when was the last time you took yourself on a date? And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, you're going to go to a restaurant by yourself. You're going to order an appetizer and a meal. Like, I want you to actually go on a true date. If you drink, get a drink. Like, and I want you to sit there. You can read a book. Like, I'm not going to make you sit there and stare up a space. Like, I get it. Like, it's a little bit weird at first. You can read a book, but like, don't be on your phone. Yep. Don't be trying to talk to somebody. Like, I see a lot of people in restaurants, like they're just like on the phone the entire time.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I probably take myself out to lunch or dinner like 3 times a week. I'm not gonna lie. And I do the whole thing. I take a shower, I get dressed, put my makeup on, do my hair, like the whole deal. And my husband is like, what are you doing? Like, are you going to go meet someone? I'm like, no, just going by myself, getting some dinner. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Going to Salud. I miss Salud. That's my place. Bulgogi tacos, please, and a kombucha. Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that this has been amazing. Is there anything else that you want to add to this whole idea and philosophy? I think this is perfect too, by the way. We're recording this on Valentine's Day. And I know that like for Valentine's Day, you know, a lot of people get this like, oh, I don't have a lover, this, that, and the other. I declare Valentine's Day self-love day. So I think like, what are you going to do today to honor yourself and really step into like self-love?
Yeah, I definitely totally agree with that. And like, I do have a husband, like we don't practice Valentine's Day, like at all. We just don't. And so, yeah, I totally agree with self-love day.
Yeah. It's like, dude, love yourself every day, but specifically on a day where it's all about giving love to others, you know?
Yeah. And I would say like to close this off, it's like, try getting naked. If you are extremely uncomfortable with getting naked, especially with a lover, like, please start getting naked by yourself. Start standing in front of the mirror. Start just glancing at yourself in front of the mirror, getting undressed, like, and just like, you don't have to take a goddess shower yet. That's like something that I feel like is a massive step for a lot of people. But if we can just strip down, look at ourselves naked, count to 5, and then you can run as fast as you can to the bathroom. It doesn't matter. But like, just start getting naked. And you have all of these health benefits as well. So it's not just like your mind changes, your actual physical body will change.
Yes, sister. I love it. Thank you so much for all of your amazing wisdom and your intuitive guiding us on the path of self-empowerment and really, truly accessing our highest potential. And really, that's what this is all about. So thank you for being an amazing guide. And I'm so happy that I got to interview on this podcast because it was something when you brought this up, I was like, what? There's more benefits about getting naked that I know about? Okay. Watch out, housemates. You know what I mean? Like, be careful because, you know, I might be trying to lower my cortisol level and I'll just take it. Close the blinds, everybody. No, open the blinds. Forget it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I look forward to doing another episode with you in the future.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you for doing this episode with me. I loved it.
Of course. All right, you guys. Adios.
Bye.